Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to week 2 of The Den. Joining beside me to the left is Mr. Jacob Wilson. He's a sophomore wide receiver for the Wildcat football team. And to my right is junior running back Aaron Woods. First off, we're going to start off the show by talking about soccer. The soccer teams have 2 conference games this week. The LC men's soccer team is 2-8 overall, conference play 1-4, and the ladies are 1-7 overall and 0-5 in conference. So we're going to talk about how are they going to compete. And the men both have Hardin Simmons and McMurray, so as well as the women. So how do they compete?
They just gotta rely on their playmakers, on the people that is gonna come in and really, light a fire for the team. Alex Okuma is a very talented player, and I just think they rely on guys like that can score. They'll be fine, and then
Yeah, like he said, now is the time to really do something. Half the season's gone. If you want to make a run for anything, you got to start now. And especially with your substitutes, Gabriel Lopez is someone that really just has to step up and just, like you said, put a fire under this team.
Yeah, the one thing I've noticed is, especially during the women's, I don't know as much as what I'm trying to say. I don't know if it applies as much to the men's team, but I know the ladies, they had a problem, like, it's kind of like what I call the LSU problem. You get in the third quarter and you start, like, wearing down or just making simple mental mistakes. Can't finish strong, like not scoring enough goals, stuff like that. So,
Right.
and that just comes with focus. Focus and mental toughness. And that starts in practice too. So, just whatever you got to do to maintain that focus and intensity throughout the entire game needs to be done.
Yeah, and one thing you need to work on, Haley Clark, she had 4 saves but still gave up 3 goals. And that's a lot of pressure. Her part, she did well. She got 4 stops. But like you said, just in the second half, in the end when it counts, is just not finishing. So that's something really, you don't need to put all that pressure on your goalie just to make every play.
All right, now volleyball. They have 7 consecutive road matches. Their record is 4-11, conference play 2-6, and they're on a 2-game losing streak. So my question for y'all is, how do you think they will handle the road while being a young team on such a strenuous road matches and stuff like that?
Well, you got to rely on your playmakers. You have Jasmine Bryce, really stepped up. Sadie Jones, Paris Babino. They've really made all the plays this season. And even the freshmen, I know Kiki, she's really stepped up. Got a lot of kills. And it just puts, a lot of excitement when it happens. So you just got to kind of keep following your playmakers.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of what he said, getting behind those playmakers, Jaslyn, Sadie. But another thing with being such a young team, you got to have those key players. Those key players got to mature really quick. They got to, find a way to erase the fact that they're so young. Especially going on the road, they got to be that leading factor for the team.
So the 4 main ones I'm aware of, like I call it the leaders, are Jones, Bright, Huval, and P. As leaders, as a leader, what is your job basically? Because I know in football you go to like what do you call it? Rough environments such as Mary Hardin Baylor.
Yeah.
Or Alcorn State, like week 1 and all that. And you have all this diversity. You're young. You're competing against kind of a little bit higher level. How do you lead a team to victory on such an event like that?
Basically, you got to lead by example, and you got to have that vocal presence as well. But the example is more of what people's going to respond to. Just being so young, it's just it's easy to lose focus. So you just got to find that thing inside of you that's just I got to suck it up. And I just got to go out there and be the leader for my team that I know I can be.
Yeah, and going off what he said, it starts off the field too. Anyone can be vocal when it's 4th quarter, 4th down. You got to make a stop. Anyone can be loud and say, "Come on, let's go." But it starts from day one. Going to film in the mornings, just being there for you guys. Hey, someone missed. Hey, let's help them out. Hey, where were you at? That's one of the main starts. Before you can just be a field leader, just right in the present, you got to be there every second.
All right. You ready to talk about some football now?
Yeah.
Being ready.
Talking about football. Let's talk about the LC's latest transition after game 2. When was it? Week 3 or the practice before the game 3? They had an injury from Skylar Bonneau, LC starting quarterback, and they called in Mason Jordan off of inactive. And LC football is on a 2-game winning streak now. They're 2-2 overall and 2-1 in conference play. So let's talk about Mason Jordan and his ASC Offensive Player of the Week.
The thing about Mason is, Mason's always been a guy that, he knows what to do, and he's a very reliable guy. And, when the situation happened when Skylar won the job, Mason still wasn't fully recovered from his knee, so he kind of just like, if you guys need me, just give me a call. And we gave him that call last week, and he stepped up tremendously. And ASC Offensive Player of the Week, that's something I ain't even do yet, and I've been here.
He threw for 272 yards with 3 touchdowns. So
Yeah,
that's
I
pretty
mean,
impressive.
He went 19 out of 35. There's always gonna be things to correct, but he did his job. And I've talked to him. He's gonna get better. He's a little rusty coming back, but he's calm and collected like he usually is. He's usually a little more quiet, but when it's go time, he lets you know.
Yeah. Another thing about it, the pass protection for Mason was awesome. The O-line did a great job. They did what they were supposed to do for that entire game, for the entire 4 quarters. And the backs, including myself, me and Melvin, we just made sure that we kept that guy clean throughout the entire night. And, whenever our number was called, to go out for a route or something, we made sure we catch the ball. And the receivers did a great job, too. So shout out to those guys.
Yeah, I feel like, especially in college football, the Heisman, they failed to recognize the offensive line or lineman. Because without an offensive line, you're not going to you don't stand a chance to win a Heisman as a quarterback, running back, or anything, So that's one thing I respected about, I believe it was A.J. McCarron. Yeah, I believe it was A.J. McCarron. He used to treat his linemen out to dinner like a couple times a year. Say, don't worry about the price, take you to a nice restaurant and all this and that. Just a kind gesture, but I think a lot of people fail to realize the stress and importance of an offensive line.
Yeah. You got to give those guys credit, man. You got to give them credit. And another thing, our run game hasn't been where we expected it to be, but this week it's going to change. I promise.
The
You
old
heard
A
it first
train.
right there from
The
A
A
Train.
It's gonna
train.
change. Gotcha.
All right, so this Saturday we have a matchup against Texas Lutheran right here on our home turf at Wildcat Stadium. Texas Lutheran is 3-1 overall, 2-1 in conference play. So what do you think will be a key factor? Like, is it the passing game, the run game, and who do you think the key players will be?
Third downs. Third downs is the key. Last year, I believe Coach Ben said it in one of our meetings. Offensively, stat-wise, we were toe-to-toe. We had almost the exact same stat line, but the difference was third downs. They converted way more third downs than we did, and that's what cost us the game last year. So converting those third downs is really going to be the key this year. And also, like I said, the run game is going to be key, because if we can run the ball against those guys and keep their defense honest, it's going to be a good night for the LC Wildcats.
Yeah, I think focus is going to be a main key. The last 2 teams we played beat us last year, and then TLU beat us last year, We've done a good job at that. Like Coach Charles just preached to us, just stay in focus, It is hard sometimes to get a little off track, because this is going to be a tough matchup. And if we're down in the game, it's easy to just kind of get sidetracked, give up penalties, unnecessary penalties. So that's the main thing Coach Charles has really talked to us about this week, is just staying on track, So just being focused, and whatever happens, be ready for it.
Yeah. So how does y'all's do you think the pass defense or the run stopper, what's your prediction for TLU?
Defense,
I know they're coming as a surprise, but
our defense is about to punish those guys. We got I might be biased, but I feel like we have one of the best defenses in the AFC. Period. Whether that's run game, pass game. We got the athletes all over the field, and the way those guys are being coached, they're just doing their assignment and doing it well. We got Orel, Julius, Joe Freon, those linebackers. That's the heart of our defense, and those guys fly around and make plays. And the back end is just as strong. The D line is just as strong. I mean, it's gonna be fun.
Long, sustained drives. That's what we need. And 3 and outs on defense.
Yeah, we keep the defense fresh.
It's going to get her done.
All right, guys. Anything else? Any last words? All right, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to The Den again with Jacob Wilson and Aaron Woods. I'm Jay Stennis. We'll catch y'all later.